I think what was interesting to me is just the split in this country. I think, like I frequently get questions, often from Europeans. Are Americans seem so prudish, and when it comes to sex, I'm like, wait. Which Americans are you talking about? Red state or blue state? Urban or rural? Because we have nothing in common. And that holds true for sex, I think. Although, there are some conservative religious groups that are very pro-sex. I interviewed a guy who he had this product. It was basically vaginal weightlifting, and it was to strengthen the Kegel muscles. And it's this, looks like sort of a two-sided doorknob, and you would insert it and kind of squeeze it and pull it up and down. And I was interviewing this guy, and as it turns out, he's a Christian. It's a Christian company. They had this sort of Christian symbol, and I said to him, "Wow, I wasn't expecting that." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Well, I don't really associate sexual pleasure with Christians. I'm sorry, that sounds really ridiculous, but conservative Christians." And he said, "No, sexuality is a gift that God wants us to enjoy." And the guy was so open. He was talking about, well, men can Kegel too. You just hang a washcloth off it and lift. And I'm like, looking at the logo on the screen, which is sort of this flowing water, and it was just anyway. So you have to be careful when you make these assumptions about religious conservatives and sexuality. But anyway, as a general statement, there is a real schism. There's a split in this country, and it seems to have both sides of it have gone further. I mean, they've gone further apart. You know what I mean? Like there seems to be more and more openness and tolerance in the urban and liberal community, and less in the other side of the fence. So that's really just. I again, because I was looking at the physiology, I didn't really focus too much on cultural issues. The most cutting edge work, there's a really great lab, University of Texas at Austin. That's a great lab. There's good stuff being done. So much of it now is testing drugs, and that's going on. That's really where the cutting edge is. I wasn't as interested in that, because from my perspective as a writer and researcher, it's boring. It's somebody taking a pill and writing a journal about whether they felt horny on Tuesday as opposed to Monday or whatever. So there's just very little of it going on outside of the pharmaceutical area, which was sad to me, because the stuff that I was focused on and I was so interested in was the explorations of sex just for the sake of figuring it out and understanding it. Like there was this guy, Roy Levin, who's now retired. He's a UK sexologist, and he was doing this stuff. He's the kind of scientist who'd think, all right, so homosexual, like anal sex, the prostate, what role does it play? What does the prostate, what's going on there? So he was, he wanted to, he was retiring, so he never did get around to doing that, but that kind of stuff where you're willing to say, I'm curious, nobody's studied this, let's just do it. That kind of work was, those guys are all retiring or they've died. There's so few of them out there. Giles Brindley was another one. The British did a lot of that pioneering work, and Masters and Johnson, of course. And in the 1950s, that was extraordinary what they were doing at the time that they were doing it. So the big names are kind of, we've entered an era of lots of people doing a little bit less exciting work,